Mike Dyson worked around the clock, and still he had to go into debt to pay his bills. Mike and his wife knew their lives needed a change after they learned how after watching the 700 Club.
Mike and Becky Dyson are avid fitness enthusiasts who've turned their passion into a career. But several years ago, Mike was an underpaid middle manager at an auto parts distributor who worked 90 hours a week just to make ends meet.
It was 5,000 minutes a month on my cell phone, so there was really no rest whatsoever. You're just like a hamster on a wheel, and there seems to be no end in sight.
Mike's long hours began to take a toll on his health and his marriage, especially when his hard work wasn't rewarded by a bigger paycheck.
It doesn't seem like anything's getting any better. I mean, you're always waiting for your direct deposit to hit. So you can pay your bills. Many times you operate in the red.
We would just stretch our meals. Our children would eat before Mike and I. We always wanted to make sure that they had enough.
For me as a man, you feel like you're not providing.
Mike and Becky began to use credit cards to cover monthly expenses. Before long, they were $30,000 in debt.
We just paid the minimum of what was due on a credit card.
During this time, Mike and Becky began to watch the 700 Club. That's where they learned about the importance of giving.
Well, I know Pat always talked about the law of reciprocity, and you hear stories, there's testimonies. We started giving to CBN 700 Club in 2005. We just made a commitment that we were going to just trust God and we were going to do it His way and tithe. You know, this is either going to work or it's not.
After making a pledge to CBN, the Dysons saw changes to their family.
Our income was staying the same, but yet there was more there.
And we never missed that $20. It was amazing.
Several years later, Mike and Becky said God told them to buy into a fitness franchise, which took off immediately.
And so we knew it was God, and we exceeded franchise expectations within 6 months.
Over the next 2 years, the Dysons' income increased, which enabled them to pay down their credit card debt and build up their savings. That's when the timing seemed right to open a second franchise. That's also when the real test of faith began.
It just did not grow. It didn't matter what we did. It was a lot of money, almost $70,000 to $80,000 we lost. And even in 2013, as bad as that year was, we still raised our giving again. God had shown His faithfulness every step of the way, and we were not going to give up on giving.
Mike and Becky remember when their breakthrough began.
The other gyms beside us, they were all starting to close. And we were the only ones still remaining open.
Now we're 3 times the size we've ever been. It's just unbelievable what God did.
The Dysons have expanded and now own 4 fitness franchises. Their income has tripled. They're no longer in credit card debt or working around the clock. But they say that all pales to their greatest reward.
It's not about making money. It's not about these pleasures of life. Not that God doesn't want to bless you, but it's about blessing other people. I just say take the step. Make a covenant with God, and God's not a wish God. He's moved by faith. When you walk in the faith world, then you get to see what God wants to provide you.
God responds to faith. He always does. Here it is in Hebrews chapter 11. Without faith, it is impossible to please Him. For he who comes to God must believe that He is, and that He is a rewarder of those who diligently seek Him. And Mike and Becky said, we're going to do that. We're going to diligently seek Him. We believe that He is. We have faith that He will provide. And you see the results. Other physical fitness areas are all closing around them, but they're growing, and not just growing a little bit, they triple. That can happen to you if you just have the same confidence that God has your future.